My name is Sandra Aneke. I'm from Nigeria, the Igbo speaking part of Nigeria, Igbo. I arrived in Canada in October 2022. I got admission at Sherbrooke University in Quebec to study brewing science postgraduate certificate course in 2022. So it was supposed to be for 1 year. So I studied from September till May 2023. I graduated May 2023. It was an awesome experience. So, and I came to PEI, Prince Edward Island, due to the fact that in Quebec, we all know that it's a French-speaking province, right? And you need to know French very well for you to properly integrate into the society. So I struggled to learn French. Though I started learning from Duolingo on the app I downloaded on my phone once I got into Quebec, because I made my research before coming to Quebec. I wanted to utilize the dual bilingual nature of the province to learn my French, but it didn't really work out within that short space of time, and I had limited postgraduate work permit when I graduated. 1 year, you are entitled to 1 year postgraduate work permit once you graduate. So for that 1 year, it's not going to afford me enough time to learn enough French and integrate properly. So that was why I had to come to Prince Edward Island, because it's an English-speaking province. I made my research, and I found out I could easily, integrate into society and meet a lot of people. Yeah, it wasn't so easy and seamless, let me put it like that, because I kind of had that experience in Sherbrooke, Quebec, that it limited me to working in factories. Factory job was what you could do if you don't know how to speak French fluently. So I was working in factory as a general laborer, and I found myself that I was underutilizing my potentials, because I had my first degree in food science and technology, and then I came to do postgraduate certificate in brewing science. So I was overqualified in terms of education, and working with people I was working, it was anybody can do the job, on skilled level. So I told myself, I'm not going to continue doing this. I need to push myself further to further explore my education experience and potentials, because I had a lot of experiences in Nigeria before coming to this place in a fast food setting. Because since I studied food science and technology, I had experience as a food service supervisor, assurance supervisor in a restaurant, other relevant experience, in customer service, and it was so good. So I needed to go to somewhere that I'll be relevant. So I decided to come to Prince Edward Island. But getting a job here was difficult. I must be sincere. Generally in Canada, I want to believe it's Canadian experience that is a barrier. Once they see that you don't have that Canadian experience, you are just all by yourself. Because I was told in confidence, if you don't have Canadian experience, you're not going to go very far like that. So coming from Sherbrooke, where I was coming from, because I fought so hard to get some job in some English-speaking companies. We had some English-speaking companies, and I did a lot of interviews. I passed the first phase, second phase, and the third phase. I had a lot of panel of 4 people interview me twice and 3 times, and I didn't move forward. And I was asking myself, what's the problem? And I found that that Canadian experience issue. And I'm not asking myself, if you don't give me the opportunity to work, how will I have the Canadian experience? I have everything, all the skills, education, experience, and everything you want. We just need to be given that opportunity to work. So coming in PEI, it was kind of different for me, because now you can speak English. At least when you are speaking, you are interacting with whoever you're interacting with. So I had to move around, because I didn't sit for someone to give me the job. I moved around. I went to Summerside. I was moving door to door, dropping my resumes. I toured the whole Queen Street. I was in this Queen Street from end to end. I even went to your office at 31. I was there. I met someone. I went to another recruiting firm, I think Island Recruiting Firm. They were the one that directed me to your office, and from there I've been moving from one place to another. I got to talk with an Indian guy in a taxi when I was in Summerside, because he was asking me, what am I coming here to do? I told him, he now gave me the hint, maybe I should go to some other companies in Charlottetown. That was how I kept moving, asking questions, dropping my resumes. And as God may have it, that was why I got the contract I have right now. Yeah, like I said, number one, which I'm very sure of, is the Canadian experience. They see that you don't have the experience that is relevant to the country, for you to explore in any role that they want to give you. That's number one for me. And I wouldn't, I'm not really sure if there's any other barrier. I don't want to mention other ones because I'm not sure. So I don't want to say what I don't know. So for me, that Canadian experience is, what I felt was the barrier. And then again, it's an English speaking province. Come on. And where we're coming from, Nigeria, our official language is English. So I wouldn't say it's language because we are very fluent in language. You understand? We speak very well. English very well. English is not a problem. And then if you want me to write English tests, I have IELTS, I have CELP, I didn't see that as a challenge. And then maybe you are not qualified. I'm qualified for whatever role I'm applying in my field, because in Canada, I found out that you have to work in the field where you studied, right? Unlike Nigeria, that whatever you studied, it doesn't matter. You can get employment in any place. But in Canada, they maintain that you have to work where you studied, like where you had your education and experience. So that was not a barrier for me. At least I have every other thing, but that Canadian experience was what was number one that I felt was. Yes, I have that feeling. Like I had it earlier, but I was, careful not to mention it. I feel so, sincerely speaking, I feel my race and my color, you understand, affected, because a lot of people here, we're not much Nigerians in this province, especially in some industries. So I feel, due to the race, yeah, ethnicity, like you mentioned, I feel is a factor, in how we are treated. Uh, if I can recall an experience or an encounter, understand, where when I went to Summerside, right, and I was moving, like I said earlier, I was moving from places to places, and I got to a certain place with my resume, and I met a certain lady recruiting for a particular company. I don't want to mention the company. So, um, when I started interacting with her, what she said, like, that I'm very sorry, the the slots are filled. You understand? Unlike what I heard when I was coming, I heard that there were spaces. I should just come and drop my CV. But how she reacted to me made me feel that maybe because of my color. You understand? And sometimes my spirit, I have this instinct that tells me that they are lying. Because you can't just tell me that a position that they are still recruiting massively, all of a sudden you are seeing me, you just tell me right away that the position is filled. So I feel I have this strong conviction within me that maybe it's because of my color. They don't really want someone like me to occupy such position. For me, it's a challenge, right? Because you would rather want to see other black people around you. But for me, it's like a motivating factor. It's a motivation for me to do my best, to bring out my best, bring my all the best in me, discharge my responsibilities and duties the best of my abilities and knowledge. It's like a motivating factor for me to be at the top. You understand? For me to send a message that's being the only one here should not be an undermining factor for me, or no one should suppress me. I wouldn't want it to suppress me at all. Though at the back of my mind, I know that, yeah, in this place, you're the only black person here. Just only you're the only black person, you understand? It's so but within me, I tell myself this is a motivating factor. This is the more reason why you should tell them the stuff you're made of. Bring out your A game, do your best, discharge your duties to the best of your abilities, so that they will know that you know what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's not going to have a negative impact on my professional aspiration because I want to grow in my career. I want to grow like from where I am right now. I want to grow in terms of acquiring more education, going back to the school, furthering my education to doctoral level, PhD level. You understand? I want to grow, and I believe once I'm acquiring that education, I will also grow in my career, from the position I am right now to the next phase, with the experience as the year goes by, you understand? I feel it's a very positive impact for me. It's gonna help me so much because I'm so glad, finding this opportunity, and it's so related to what I studied. It's so relevant to my education and experience, and it will help me massively to grow career-wise. Yeah, it's. I was initially when I came to President, I found out that it wasn't gonna be easy. I was depressed. I was depressed. Like you wouldn't want to be in contact with me, like be close to me when I'm depressed, because I'll be all by myself. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I was depressed. I was afraid of the unknown. I didn't know what is gonna happen the next time because, especially due to the fact that my postgraduate work permit was a short one. You understand? I didn't know what is gonna come. I was afraid of the unknown, like what is gonna happen next if I don't get this job immediately, or even if not immediately, within a certain time. Like I needed to get that job because it was gonna help me at least, build myself and then try to extend my work permit. You understand? Because if you get the job, automatically it's expected that they should help you to figure out, even if it's not closed work permits, employee specific or other areas. But I was depressed, seriously. I was sad. I was afraid of the unknown, like what's gonna happen now. I don't really know where what I'm gonna do. So that was why I was aggressive. I moved out, moving from one place to another. That's one thing about me. I don't stay, you know, I don't, I don't. I would love to explore, to keep moving. I don't wait for someone to bring it to me. Despite the fact that I was applying online, I was applying several openings, putting in my resume out every day. I sent us not less than 50 resumes. I was applying, but as well I was moving around. And the cost implication, you wouldn't want to know it, taking all these taxi, moving on the whole places. And you had savings, and the savings is gonna run out. So it wasn't easy for me, so I was depressed, and thank God, as God may have it, within that time everything worked out according to how it was supposed to be. Like I didn't know that we are supports like the Island Refugee and Immigration Services. I got to know about them recently. I didn't mean I knew that they were such supports. I would have gone to their office that week that we came in on 4th January 2024. I would have gone there, but I didn't know of any supports. I just have to figure it out by myself. You understand? There was not really any support from anybody. You understand? And most of the recruiters or places that I worked in, they weren't really encouraging because I was moving from office to office, office to office, office to office. Some of them they were not really. They would just say, okay, we're gonna call you if there's something that comes by. You understand? They don't really go forward to say, I really encourage your, though there was a certain lady, yeah, there was a certain man when I went to one of the recruiting of companies like that. They were not really recruiting. Like I said, I was moving from office to office, and the man was like, I really encourage your, how you were coming, I was in your place before. He really gave me that words of encouragement, and it went a long way for me to know that I was not alone, because you can't see a lot of people doing that. No, you can't. You understand? So he really encouraged me that keep up. I was like you understand? You are gonna do it. And even I got that kind of support, words of encouragement. It would have gone a long way. But despite that, where I'm coming from, I knew what I passed through. You understand? Where we are coming from, you don't wait for nobody's encouraging. You have to be your own motivation by yourself internally. You understand? Motivate yourself. Yeah. Yeah. They should try to scrap that Canadian experience if it really exists. Give people opportunity to bring out themselves, because you don't really know what the stuff the person is made of, unless to give the person the opportunity. Don't try to limit the person that the person does not have Canadian experience. Because of that, you're not going to give the person a shot. Especially people, immigrants like me, coming from Nigeria, from other African countries, and even other places of the world. They should please try to give them opportunity to explore themselves. Not minding the fact that they didn't really study here in Canada. They should change that narrative, because that was what I heard and it was true. And try not to discriminate in the workplace. Try not to make people feel hated and despised, because there was another certain experience I had recently with someone, a friend of mine. He's still looking for a job. I was with him that day, and he was still complaining that he doesn't have a job. And we were passing by a certain office, and I encouraged him, just go in. You can never tell. You can never tell what will happen. Just go in. Try. He went in and he asked, that he's looking for something. And the secretary was like, I'm not really sure if they are looking for a place, but if you don't mind, come and drop your name, your email, and your address, and the head of the company is going to get back to you. And coincidentally, while we were in the secretary office, he was filling his information. The head of the company happened to walk in, you understand? And she asked, who are these people? Referring to us. And the secretary was like, sorry, they are looking for a job, and I just decided to see, if they can drop their contact details, and we're going to reach out to them. You don't want to see the look on her face. It was so unfriendly, so unwelcoming, like despising, because we read body languages, right? The look on her face was so bad. It was not welcoming at all. And she didn't mention she didn't say a word, and she walked away. For me, if I were in that recruiter or the head of the company's shoe, I would have at least offered, a welcome pleasantries like, welcome, thank you so much for dropping by. A smile goes a long way. Even if you're not going to recruit the person, make them feel appreciated, make them feel welcome. Don't despise them. I don't know, it was not good for me. So she could have done better, because down within me, I knew she was not going to get back, because she has already sent her message, and it was not good at all. So they can do better. We are coming here to help them. International students help Canada so much in terms of tax. We work massively, because during my own time, I was entitled to 40 hours per week. I was so lucky. And we contribute massively to Canadian economy. We pay by working, you understand, we contribute to the economy. You understand? And they shouldn't despise immigrants too, because they are coming to work to add to the economy. My advice to you, as an prospective international student, you want to come to Canada, you have to buckle up in terms of the fact that be ready to be on your own. mind your business, focus on your education, focus on whatever you are doing, because that was what made me to scale through. I was focused. That time I had to do night shifts from 7 p.m. in the evening to 7 a.m. in the morning. I will go to lectures in the morning. So you have to remain focused on whatever brought you here. Make sure you pass. Make sure you read your books, pass excellently to the best of your abilities, because that will help you very well in the job market, because they will look at that too. And then try to calm down. Don't rush, especially trying to look for a job. It's not going to be easy at all. Nobody will see you, come and take the job. It's not going to be easy. The labor market is quite similar like Nigerian labor market. Survival of the fittest. You have to keep searching. You have to keep improving yourself. You have to keep reading. You have to keep pushing yourself out of several boundaries to make sure that you are the best, so that whenever that job comes out, you'll be fit for it. You understand? So that's my advice, and I believe it's gonna help them go a long way.